and welcome to this week's edition of It's Your City. I'm Cortney Bloomer here in our studios at the Brewery Arts Center with this week's guest, Carson City Schools Superintendent Richard Stokes. Thanks for being with us.
Cortney, my pleasure. Nice to see you.
Thanks for taking time out on this, the first day of school.
It's my pleasure.
Busy day for the district. How was it this morning?
It's great. Always. Schools, the start of the school year is one of my favorite times.
Such good energy.
Energy is high. Parents are happy to have their kids back at school. Teachers are enthusiastic, and students are really happy to see their friends and show off a new wardrobe as well. So it's a lot of fun.
Share what they did over summer vacation, all of the requisite back to school activities. I know that when I was a kid, I really looked forward to the first day of school, and I'm sure my mother did too.
It's a momentous time. And our school district staff has been busy. Our HR department hired nearly 50 new teachers.
Wow.
And so we are looking forward to getting to know those folks, to have them in our community, and we're grateful to them for choosing Carson City School District as a place to live and to work. And it's just a lot of fun. I mean, there's a lot of neat things going on, and when you see new people and new faces, that always brings new enthusiasm, new ideas, new energy to the school district.
Now, the first day of school always sneaks up on some people somehow. If there are kids in our community who did not make it today and still need to get registered for school, what do they need to do?
Well, first, they can go to our website, www.carsoncityschools.com, and there's a neat little button that they can push on our webpage that allows anybody to find out which school is their neighborhood school. And so that's in English and in Spanish. So if they click on that button, they'll know which site they should go to. But they can also register their child online, or if it's a returning student that's coming back after having attended our schools in the past, then they can come in, and if they've moved over the summer, if their telephone number has changed, they can update some of that information. And the same way, by going online to our webpage.
And there are resources on the webpage not just for new and enrolling students, but things like bus schedules and the school calendar for all parents.
That's right, Courtney. And in addition to that, we have made a few changes to some of our policy, regulations, procedure. You can find information about all of those things, including our wellness policy, which was revamped just this summer. And there are some changes in what our expectations are for children at school, what they eat, and maybe even some of the foods that parents bring into the schools. And so anyway, there are some changes. We encourage people to look into that a little bit.
Can you give us just a brief overview of what some of those changes might be, especially with regards to the food, like you mentioned? I know that's something that a lot of parents had concerns about as this policy was being developed.
Sure.
What's the outcome? Where are we at?
Well, the U.S. Department of Education has put out regulations associated with student wellness. And so nutrition is a portion of that, it's not all. And we're being asked to do what we can at a state and local level to try to make sure that kids stay active, that they take into their bodies substances that are healthy, that they get plenty of sleep and rest, all of those things that lead to wellness, overall wellness for humans. And so they'll carry those good habits, we hope, from their school days into adulthood.
So as delicious as cupcakes are, those are probably not going to be on the recommended for classroom consumption list.
And I'm a cupcake fan, so cupcakes have tended to get kind of a bad rap in this whole thing. Really, the goal here is to follow a certain, just like you see the little numbers on the side of any food item anymore. The federal government, the state government, and of course locally, we'd like our foods that find their way into our schools to follow similar guidelines. So there's a process and a guideline called the Smart Snack Guidelines that need to follow that protocol. And so that information is on our webpage. But typically, there are some times, I don't want to give the wrong impression, there are some times when parties can happen and celebrations can occur.
This is not a no fun rule.
That's correct. And so there are times when, that usual maybe ice cream and cupcake for a birthday party can occur. And we just want folks to get into the habit of thinking, when I do bring food to the schools, let's make it as nutritious and as healthy as we can.
And like you said, those guidelines are available for parents on the website.
That's right.
And give them that website again.
www.carsoncityschools.com.
.com.
.com.
So go there, check it out, and you can go there and check it out maybe on some of the new technology that the school district is making available to all the kids in the school district.
Nice segue. For the last 3 years, we have been working on a one-to-one mobile initiative, which means that we are trying to put in the hands of our students new technology, new tools that we hope are used for learning. For a long time, students have been able at home to use their home computers, access the internet, look up information, do research. We're now providing through the school district one-to-one mobile devices for all of our students grades 3 through 12. The last 3 years, we've started with our middle school and our elementary students, but this year in October, we'll actually be giving laptop computers to our 9th through 12th graders, and that'll be both at Carson High School and at Pioneer High School.
So that rollout is coming to the high school. That technology, like you mentioned, has been in the elementary and middle schools for a couple years now. How has that been working out?
It's been working out well. We found that places that have been successful in using one-to-one mobile technology, it was really critical that the curriculum be established very clearly. If we just handed out the devices and parents or staff and students were just left to their own devices, those programs have not been as successful as where we have a dedicated curriculum, and then we've also provided a lot of opportunity for training for our teachers, and combined we're seeing some marvelous results. And of course, technology is something that our students are very familiar with. It's a part of their lives that might be a little foreign to the adults, yet our teachers are finding that there's great idea sharing and stimulation regarding how to actually do the whole instruction piece. And so it's really been fun to watch and to be part of that. And of course the students are responding as you would expect. Not to say there haven't been some bumps in the road. A student that has a one-to-one mobile device opens and closes and turns that thing on a lot of times during the day. Some of them after 3 years of use are starting to show some significant wear. Some are built better than others. And accidents happen. Sometimes students will bump one and drop it off of the table. Sometimes the hinges wear out, sometimes the keys come loose. So there's a significant amount of work that happens for our IT department as they're trying to keep these items maintained and working.
Now these computers are the students' responsibility.
They are.
They have them just like they would in a traditional, old school, like when I was in school, like a textbook. And they have these, the computers instead. You mentioned problems for the IT department. How do parents feel about their kids having access to the internet like that all the time?
Parents have been great partners, and we've learned a lot from their concerns. Parents have the option whether or not to allow the student to even have one of our devices, so they can say no. That's okay. They also can limit whether or not the student actually brings the device home or not, so they can say, listen, we have a computer at home, we have access to the internet, there's no sense in Johnny bringing a school device home. And if that's the case, then the student has it available to use at school, but relies on the home computer at other times. And then there are other children and students who prefer to just, like a textbook, take it from school to home. And that really helps to level the playing field for some of our families that may not have
some families may not be able to afford computers or iPads or various devices. So this does help those kids to be able to keep up with some of their peers who do have access to that information.
It does, and the time of memorizing facts and dates, you can get that in a second on the internet.
Exactly.
And so, these one-to-one devices are really helping our students learn how to live and work in a world where technology really is the rule and not the exception. Being able to work with student classmates in teamwork efforts and to use the devices and to become familiar with the software that's used in business and industry in our world today. Really helpful and opens their eyes, I think, to what the world will be like when they're adults and taking our place at some point.
At some point. Now, this technology initiative is really one part of sort of a broader effort here in the community that the school district is involved with, and that is the new technology training program. How do these technology devices interact with that effort that the school district has taken part in to prepare our workforce and that sort of thing?
Well, of course, we learn every day, as do our students, we hope. And we're working closely with some of our community partners. For example, we have a vibrant manufacturing group here in town. We've worked closely and listened to what those folks have to say because we see our job as being able to prepare some of the workforce that our manufacturers need. And so they've explained to us some of the software that they use, some of the job soft skills that they are hoping to have from people that we turn out of our institution so that they can go to those manufacturing businesses and be successful. And so whether or not students are learning how to put together presentations or they're learning how to make blueprints or read blueprints, all of those things, even digital photography and presentations, all of those things are part of today's world, and they're so necessary in the work that we're doing in our schools.
Excellent. This sounds like such an exciting program, and I'm sure the kids at the high school are very excited to get their laptops also when that happens in October.
And I would just say, kind of at the end of this, Courtney, that one of the things that we found very successful as we've rolled these one-to-one devices out is we've had individual site meetings, and so parents of high school students, watch for an opportunity that will be advertised where you can come to the school, listen to our staff members talk about the one-to-one initiative and understand the responsibilities, understand the advantages, all of those things that we hope will be of help and information to our parents. And by attending those parent meetings, they'll learn a lot more about the program.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much
My
for
pleasure.
being
Thanks
here
for
with
the
us
invitation.
today. Thanks for taking time out on a busy day. There's a long school year ahead, and we're right at the start of it here. So exciting to hear about all the things that Carson City School District is doing with the students in our community that are really revolutionary and done to really prepare our young people to be successful. So thank you for that, and to all the staff and faculty at Carson City Schools. We wish them a great year.
My pleasure. You know, it's a great business to be in. We appreciate all the help that our community offers us. And I just maybe say in closing, if anybody would like to contact my office if they have questions or if they'd like more information, please feel free to call. My number is 283-2100.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for
My
being
pleasure.
here today, Mr. Stokes. And thanks to all of you for joining us for this week's edition of It's Your City. I'm Cortney Bloomer. We'll see you next week.